Today on my calendar, I have something called the cat meeting. Something tells me this is Chris's way of getting his cat on the vlog.
It is Halloween morning and I am super pumped to meet with local cat sitting startup Meowtel.
Something tells me Chris is at home right now, filming with his cats.
Because if there's one thing I know about, it's these little guys, right, Storm? I actually invested in a company called WAG years ago, and I have some ideas about what Meowtel should and shouldn't be doing. So I'm looking forward to meeting with the founder this morning.
All right, Chris is here. This camera setup gets more and more ridiculous every day.
I hate these international trades. Interactive Brokers is saying I have a negative euro balance because I guess I bought them in euros but didn't transfer my US dollars to euros first. It's just, why does everything have to be so difficult?
So Chris just revealed to me that I was right. He was filming with his cat.
I cat hair all over me. I mean, if taping isn't stressful enough, taping intros with cats gotta be the hardest thing ever.
Before you even take this meeting.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I would be super excited to invest in a hot cat startup. and my daughter would love me to death and would finally take an interest in what I do. But I do have some serious reservations because the reason why WAG and those dog walking services work so well is that people use them every day. The cat thing is just cat sitting. It's for vacations only, I think. So the market, I think, is exponentially smaller than the dog walking market. And that's a huge problem that she's gonna have to explain to us.
I'm not a cat person, I'm a dog person, so I don't really know, but cats, can't you just leave them in the house with a lot of food, and don't they poop in a box?
I pay a cat sitter every time we go on vacation to visit twice a day. We pay a cat sitter twice a day, yes.
What do they do twice a day? Just pet your cat?
No, they spend time with the cats. They play with them, they watch TV with them. We pay them to hang out with our cats, and that is important for me.
And don't you have, like, friends in the neighborhood that could come and hang out with your cat for 20 minutes?
No.
How much time does your cat need every day?
When we go on vacation, we pay for a 1 hour session in the morning and a 1 hour session in the evening.
Well, maybe there is a market for this after all.
Well, but it's still only vacations. I don't know how big the market is just for vacations for cats. We're gonna be late for this meeting. So great to meet you all. Let's talk cats.
They're territorial animals. If you take them out of their safe space, they freak out, they get anxious. Like, you just can't transport cats. So you have to keep them at home. And so we specialize in in-home care. But talking about the market size and opportunity, cat care is tied directly to travel. But 1 in 3 Americans own a cat, so it's actually the #1 pet in the country. And we assume that cat parents travel for an extended period at least once per year. You take, 47 million households, multiply that by $120, which is our AOV, and that's about over a $5 billion annual opportunity. We are focusing our efforts in 10 cities. So LA/Southern California is our biggest market, followed by New York City, Chicago, Dallas, Austin, San Francisco, Portland, Seattle. So disintermediation is always something we're worried about. We monitor pretty much every chat, every message that's sent through the platform. If you take it off platform, you're not insured. But the incident we had the other week is the sitter recommended, hey, just pay me $80 cash offline because I want to save $16 in commission. Things didn't go as planned. 2 of the cats ended up in the ICU. They were slapped with a $600 vet bill. The customer was kicking herself for not keeping on Meowtel. We kind of have a list of potential problem causers.
That's why it's so important for you to standardize the process and have it be about your brand and not as much about the individual cat sitter. So to any degree that we can help you, we're happy to.
Awesome.
Off to lunch to talk cats. This could be a cash flow business.
Yeah. Well, I just like that she's got cash flow right now. She's got a decent amount of revenue, but there's actually no cost in her opening up in additional markets.
She just needs to go deep in one market, show how big this can be. Is it 1% of cat owners? Is it 3? Is it 4% that would utilize a service like this? You can extrapolate those projections out over another 30 or 40 markets and at least give investors like us an idea for how large this industry segment can be. Because right now, I just don't have a clue.
I think also the thoughts on standardizing pricing, that's something that we were sure of before we even took the meeting, and she was like, oh, you're the first to actually tell me that that's something I need to do, and I realize I do need to do that.
I agree. I think she was already thinking about all the advice we gave her, and now she feels validated, and she could forge forward with it on standardization of pricing, on not having to raise a lot of money, that she can still be successful. She can be very, very successful. I want to see how big she can get in Dallas, which is her home market, and that will determine from me how much money she needs and whether or not it's interesting for us. Where are we headed next?
So this is a meeting with a guy named Mark. He was one of the developers of PlayStation, and he became the business development lead for GameStop. Now he's created a company that they're raising a fund that funds video games.
We're meeting him at a company called Playful. Is that his company that he works at now?
It's his company.
Kind of like we quit our day jobs and now just look for interesting opportunities. Ryan, I think, is in a similar boat. What is your actual job these days?
So it depends on the day. Today it's construction from 8 o'clock till 11, and then I have...
Construction meaning you're building a $5 million house.
I build a...
For a friend.
So we've got two $5 million plus homes going on for two friends. After that...
But you're like an exclusive builder. You don't just build for anyone. They have to be a friend of yours, and they have to have more than $5 million to spend on their house.
Exactly. And then after that, it's investor meetings, and then typically we get in a round of golf at the end of the day. That's about it.
How often do you play? Let's admit it. How many days a week do you play golf?
4.
It's insane. So all the time we spend like in editing meetings and stuff, he's off playing golf.
Playing golf.
He basically lives the dumb money lifestyle, but he's playing golf instead.
They end up turning into a business connection.
Yeah, no.
Almost always.
No, Ryan's actually a really integral part of the Dumb Money family because he does play so much golf. He's constantly bringing us new opportunities.
Ryan is one of those connectors who a lot of our meetings start with the call from Ryan.
We can't film at Playful, right? So he won't let us film this meeting.
Yeah, which is why I've packed away my camera, and we're now rolling with GoPro.
But we'll tell you about the meeting after.
Just heading out of the Playful office.
Ryan, why didn't you tell us that these are the guys that started Word with Friends?
Just to hear the progression of the things that he has worked on.
Kind of amazing because with everything going on but Fortnite, and we've talked about this, that's why we invested in Activision.
Absolutely.
Because of all this new style of gameplay.
The whole idea of e-gaming and gaming as a sport.
They are developing a game at this company where the audience is as important as the gamer inside of the game. They're raising $30 million, and most of the $30 million is to go to finance this game they've been working on now for almost a year. They'll be ready in another 2 to 2.5 years. Could be a game that could be as big as a Fortnite if it's successful. Which, do we want to buy a lottery ticket on these guys? That's the question. It's a lottery ticket where if we lose, we break even, which isn't a bad thing.
Yeah.
And if we win, we just invest in the next Fortnite.
I want to invest.
All right, where do we head to then? I think this company first, Ryan, too?
This is mine also.
All right, tell them about it.
What is
Mr.
this?
Tire. It was established in Indonesia first. They're a mobile, Uberized roadside assistance.
Not roadside assistance, roadside service.
So basically, instead of sending a tow truck, they send someone to actually do the work right there on the side of the road.
They'll actually put new tires on your car, on the side of the road, or at your house, or at your office. They'll also change your oil at your office or at your house.
Any type of fluid change, transmission, washer fluid, whatever you need done.
In our opinion, there's zero e-commerce disruption. So we're providing that disruption.
Yeah.
The question is, what percent of that market would go to a mobile delivery? Even if it's 1%, we're talking $2 billion a year of revenue.
How did you, in the Asian markets, get the word out about the app and have people start using it?
Target the fleets. Go to the Avis corporate office, call them up, get a meeting, they try the service, they're blown away, and they become your customer.
If you believe that the consumer model is a necessary component of the business, at some point you have to scale. The only way to forcefully do that nationally is with advertising. Yeah, fleets are big enough and interesting enough that I think you could launch in the U.S. with a fleet-only model for the first 2 years.
There's no downside to allowing consumers to use the app.
No. I think the nice thing about fleets are you have control over demand. But I got to understand the unit economics. Like I would say, full rewind here, and we've got to understand that.
Sure. Well, where we're operating now on the 2 corporate-owned vans, we expect to be EBITDA positive over the next 2 to 3 months with utilization of approximately 37-40%.
I visualize this being the way I get my oil changed and I get my tires replaced.
Yep.
There's not a doubt in my mind that, assuming the unit economics make sense, that this is how we should be doing this in 5 years.
This has been a long day of meetings. Can we go home now?
We better. Obviously, we had to bring the cats in at the end here, full circle, or
fur circle. That was bad. Thank you guys so much for watching. We are Dumb Money. We've made a full-time job of finding unique and interesting opportunities.
We share our real lives and our real investments and our real cats with you.
If you like this episode, give us a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. And we want to hear from you, so drop a comment.
I think it's only fair to have equal time for dogs. This is my dog, Chimichanga. Say goodbye.
That episode was perfect.